My name's Sam Spencer. I'm Chief Executive Officer of Aristotle Metadata, and I'm responsible for providing software as a service platforms across the Australian public sector. I think the biggest data transformational challenge is really a cultural challenge. What we're seeing across our client base is understanding what data means from a very business perspective and helping organisations share that across their organisation. The biggest challenge is really getting everybody on board. One of the things that we saw that was really successful with the Department of Education, Skills and Employment was going through a thorough data inventory process as recommended by the ONDC. What we saw really beneficial there was making sure that that had somewhere to live that was accessible to the rest of the organisation and making sure that users could find it. The way that we're helping government overcome challenges with data is really around data accessibility. What are we doing to make sure users understand what data is available across the organisation, where it is and who to talk to? This is what we've done different to the rest of the transformational data organisations that we see in the marketplace, and we really focus on making sure that users and people in these organisations understand how to communicate about their data effectively. The data future that I see for Australia is really around focusing on the startup and entrepreneurial sector. I think what I've seen across the public sector is a broad range of really exciting challenges that exist and a lack of international support for overcoming these challenges. What we see is an opening in the landscape for organisations not like Aristotle Metadata, but other organisations that were born and bred here in Canberra to tackle these new and emerging challenges. I think it's really important to attend events like the Data and AI Showcase because it really helps expand that network. As I said, I think that the most exciting thing around data is building that collaborative process. And that's where events like this help people connect and build that professional network so they can understand what other people are doing and how they can leverage that knowledge across the entire community. I think the most important thing that government needs to start doing is documenting what their data means. I think that's what we've seen has been successful across a lot of our clients, like the Department of Education, Skills and Employment, is really focusing on documenting data well so that others can find it. The reason that I started Aristotle Metadata was because I was a former public servant who saw a range of opportunities in the market for delivering standardised solutions to common problems across the government sector. Based on my background in government, I saw this need for standardised ways to improve how we communicate about data. I was able to leverage that experience in the public sector and bring it into the market to identify new and interesting areas across the Australian government to start delivering these solutions. When we founded 4 years ago, one of our first clients was Services Australia, who came to us with a challenge of helping them describe their data to other organisations to facilitate data access. They were really looking for a solution that allowed them to share information about their data prior to giving access to ensure that queries that came through were faster and more efficient. They identified the Aristotle Metadata Registry as their solution for providing this information so that users would get accurate and timely access to data. The outcome for them was a more efficient way of servicing their clients across the entire public sector. What they needed from us was they needed a delivery of a platform that made it faster and more efficient for them to share data with public servants so that they could then produce outcomes across the sector. As a software as a service provider, we understand the cloud-based economy that we're working across in the Australian public sector now. What we have to offer is a really solid product that enables everybody across an organisation to describe their data. I challenge anybody across the public sector who's focusing on data communication challenges to reach out to our sign-up page at aristotlemetadata.com. What I'd encourage anybody across the public sector to do is reach out to us to start trialling our platform. If you go to aristotlemetadata.com, you'll see that we offer free trials for 6 months for all public sector organisations to help them start understanding that data management journey and do it in a cost-effective way to start building that organisational trust across their government.